Hi everyone, this is Nadia. I'm an occult specialist that uses spiritual intelligence to empower entrepreneurs into a healthy, empowered money story to live a balanced life. Today's topic is something that I have thought about for quite a long time, and I've actually wanted to cover this topic because it's a request topic from two individuals that have actually worked with Belial and wanted to know a little bit more about working with him and the proper ways and so on and so forth. So I won't make this a very long video, but I'll try and keep it to like the bare basic FAQs, so on and so forth. Okay, so lots of people want to upgrade a timeline or jump timelines. They want to completely, radically change their life. They want to be a different person. And so what I find with Belial more than anything is Belial is going to challenge every tiny thing that's inside you when it comes to your thought process, when it comes to your manifestation, when it comes to your approach of life. Now, Belial is probably one of the big three. He, for me, in the Goesha, is one of the tiger parents. And working with Belial is not for the faint-hearted. Belial does not like lazy people. Like, a lot of people work with like maybe a Maimon, Payman Clinic. But if you want to work with Belial, you have to be a very, very serious individual. You have to be mentally mature, spiritually mature, and emotionally mature to work with Belial. Belial is not too bothered about finances. Interestingly enough, is what I find. Typically, he knows that if you have the command and mastery over this trio, which is emotional, spiritual, and mental, you will be able to heed his guidance and be very good at what it is you do. So, Belial typically generally likes beer from what I know. So because I don't consume alcohol, I've always eaten chicken and mushroom pasta for him as an offering. I like cooking it a lot, and sometimes when I go out, I also eat that for him as well. I share my dish with him. And the interesting bit is that Belial has very much helped me come out of my patterns and come out of thinking where come out of my human limitations, because Belial puts a lot of pressure on a lot of people. So one of the most frequently asked questions is how to work with Belial. Don't be a fuck shit. Let's start with that, because Belial will not tolerate somebody summoning him for nonsense like, oh, do you think this person's interested in me? I want extra money. Those are, in Belial's opinions, these are not mine, by the way, very petty things to ask. It's very human drama, human nonsense. Belial wants like serious things. You come to him for very serious goals. The Black Label offering on our Spartanite site is actually Belial's inspired site, or I guess his page basically. It's you're fully in your power, you're fully in your command, and his energy can be very frightening to work with. It's very intense. It's very strong. Belial can work with you for good things. Belial can work with you for not so good things. So that is obviously up to an individual and a practitioner of how they wish to approach him. I full well know that if people use Belial for curses and hexes, that can go right up to 5 to 10 years, as much as Belial has shared with me. And I full well know that if you evoke Belial's help for to make you a master of whatever it is you want to do, it can again go for that length of time. So it's either way, you make the choice of what you want to do. So when it comes to offerings, Belial is huge on food, as every spirit often is, and I often make jokes with them and laugh with them and say there's nothing you guys want more than food, or maybe wine or alcohol. Considering I don't consume because I'm teetotal, I just say to them, fine, you'll get the food that I make, or I'll light up some nice incense for you, that type of thing. He's very no nonsense. He's very straightforward. He's very intimidating and overwhelming. So if you are a newbie, I say to people, if you want to work with left hand or if you want to work with Goesha, please don't approach him to start with. He's like having no comprehension of how to talk to somebody in the C-suite, whether it's the CEO, the CFO, the COO, whatever other C titles you can come up, and then you just randomly sit with them and they're just looking at you like, where is this going? So I took the liberty of drawing his sigil. So this is Belial's sigil, basically. So if you want to evoke him, you'll always need a sigil. And his N to evoke him and talk to him is Lirach, Tassa, Wefa, Welek, Belial. So Lirach, Tassa, Wefa, Welek, Belial. Again, he's not going to respond. There's so many people that can come and say to me, I tried to evoke Belial. I tried to work with him and I don't understand why he's not coming through. It's probably because he thinks you're not worthy of it. I know that sounds awful to say, but he's busy. He's one of the big three. He's extremely busy. And his power is truly, yeah. I've had the pleasure and the displeasure of working with him, and he's very, very demanding. Like, he doesn't care about my excuses. He doesn't care about my human problems. He doesn't care about my human conditions. That's not to say that he lacks empathy. There are truly problems and situations I've had in my life, and he's very considerate, and he's actually very sweet about it. He's very sensitive, he's very sweet, he's very encouraging, that's what I'd say. But that's because I don't turn up to his door with nonsense. I usually say, Belial, I'm truly stuck in this area, and he said, you're not. He always, his signature line to me personally, and for a lot of practitioners that he works with, is you're not, you're never stuck. It's just your mentality that's stuck. Change around your mentality and the problem solves itself. Or it's not your responsibility to carry somebody's problem, or so on and so forth. And he's very full on. He's so full on that he scares most people away, which he really doesn't care. He doesn't care, basically. And to work with him, I say from experience, is truly life-changing. Working with Belial is possibly one of the most life-changing things a person can do. So the frequently asked questions that people usually ask me is like, how do I build his altar? Or what do I say to him? Just be straightforward. He's very intense. So if you feel nervous going into speaking with him, but if you are somebody that has command to start with, he's not going to worry because you probably won't feel nervous. So typically I would say that work with spirits that are a little more friendly, such as maybe Dantalion or Grimoire or something. Don't start with Belial. Just don't, because he's someone that expects you to already know your shit and have your shit together when you come to him. And that can be often very off-putting and very intimidating to somebody and very overwhelming, which is understandable because they don't have the experience of being human. So, they're going to demand things from you where it's like, why you've not already, like if in a business per se, your baseline is you've made X amount and he's just looking at you, why have you already not made like 15 times the amount? Like he just doesn't want to deal with it. But one of the predominant things, the two things Belial, for me personally, the two things Belial actually deals with is number one is self-worth and number two is power, like real, regal, primal power, basically. It's the type of power that intimidates and frightens people, and he finds that pretty amusing, and he finds that pretty funny, actually. And number two, self-worth. Lots of human beings have a very low value of themselves or low self-worth. So Belial is, he's very hot on people having, carrying themselves a certain way, being a certain way, and if you're intimidated, go fuck yourself. That's his notion to a lot of things. Belial is very good for people who aspire to increase and deepen their magical practice. He's also very, very good for entrepreneurs, business owners, big CEOs, which he obviously does help, investors, stockbrokers, people who are very driven. They know what they want. They're very ambitious. But like I've said, it's not, it doesn't have to be particularly a financial problem. That's the thing. People may come to Belial for financial issues, but typically people approach him for mental strategy or for a type of strategy that's very tough for me to actually put in words. It's a type of strategy that somebody finds when all the coaches, the mentors, the blah, blah, the earthly stuff is just not doing it for you. For me personally, I found answers from Belial that nobody in this world gave me. Not even other spirits that I work with gave me those answers. They touched on it, but he's at another level, and I had to jump a lot of levels to get there. One thing I do actually want to talk about Belial before I wrap up this video is A lot of people don't have the command to work with Belial. A Belial is not obliged to listen to them. It's like someone calls you on your phone and you're busy. You're not obliged to take that call. You're not obliged to answer everything, especially if you have so much going on. Basically, it's not an obligation. You will come back to that person as and when you're ready. And if that person thinks you're obviously worthy of the time. Not that I'm being horrible, but I'm trying to explain it from Belial's point of view, basically. Belial will very much heed to people who have already undergone and initiated themselves in the Qliphoth. The Qliphoth, there are two ways of dealing with this. Either somebody has to initiate you into the Qliphoth, or you can do self-initiations, but both require guidance. Don't get up and think, oh, I'm going to initiate myself in this. If you are initiated in the Qliphoth, then Belial has to answer to you. Belial, Nadia Lilith, Tanvir, a lot of other spirits, they are at your command, basically. So you have, as much and regal and powerful as they are, you're still a human being, meaning you have command over them, meaning they have to listen to you. That's the thing. It's not like you're being horrible and saying, oh, well, you're my servant. It's nothing. It's a relationship of respect and honor and mutual understanding, but they have to answer to you, irrespective of they're busy, irrespective of whatever's going on, because you are initiated in such a high rank for yourself. So I definitely encourage people to work with Belial. I have good things to say about him. He's a motherfucker. He's somebody who I've had a lot of arguments with over the years, simply because I'm trying to understand things from a human perspective, and he's like, I don't care about your human bullshit. Like, it's irrelevant to me. This is what you need to do. This is how long you have. Get on it, basically. And you're left scrambling, trying to make a cake when you've got no ingredients. And Belial expects the cake. He doesn't care whether you don't have ingredients. Get out, go to the supermarket, buy them. I don't have the money, or I don't have this. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about people's excuses, which can often be very tough. If you are someone that you're still in a healing process of a lot of things, don't work with him, because his advice will be very much like, I don't care, just get out and do it. If you're someone that can take that resilience, then, I have both. Basically, I have days I don't want to talk to him where I'm like, no, you're just being mean to me. And there's some days where like, come on, let's do it. I can run this, that. So you have to go with your thoughts, and you have to go with your feeling inside, basically. Just thinking if there's anything else I need to cover. Belial likes different types of incenses. He does like dragon's blood incense quite a fair bit as well. Him and Lilith like dragon's blood incense. If you ever need to perform sex magic rituals for any of your clients, Belial and Lilith are probably the most powerful and potent rituals that you can do. Belial gets along with quite a few of his co-workers, as he calls them, in the Goetia, and he's very blunt and matter-of-fact. You can't fuck around with Belial. When you go to him, and I feel like I'm repeating myself in this video, Belial is somebody that you don't approach for nonsense. Like, I don't approach him to ask him, oh, how do I make more sales in Spartanite? Or how do I have more clients? Belial just doesn't care about that stuff. Belial wants to know what my 5-year plan is. Belial wants to know, like, how many millions I can create from a thing. Like, he's very empirical and very grand. The difference between Belial, he's a king, and Paimon is a king as well. And I will cover Paimon's video as somebody's request. Paimon is more imperial, he's more opulent, he's more grand. Belial is very powerful. That's not me saying the other spirits are not powerful, but his power is truly unmatched, especially in the Goetia. And I've had many conversations about religion with Belial, and he's very matter-of-fact with a lot of things. I've asked him questions like, what do you think of God? What do you think of religion? What do you think of this? And I get some really interesting answers, and I always want to push a little bit more. I asked him once about the fall, and he gave me a picture of himself, and I was like, a picture is meant to tell me the story? But I had to sit with a picture, and he said, well, figure it out yourself. Like, why... And he can often be very grumpy when you summon him. It's because he's got a lot of responsibility on his head. So Belial is one of those spirits. Go to him when you are good and ready to completely overhaul, change your life down. It could be, fuck it, burn it all down, start again. Extreme levels of power. It's sort of like a category 5. It's like a child walking into a category 5 hurricane. Yeah. again, if you practice, build yourself up into it. If you already work with Belial, fantastic, just deepen your practice. But he is someone that is truly life-changing. He's going to challenge you on a lot of areas in your places. There's times, like I've said, I've disagreed with him. I've full on gone fought with him, haven't spoken to him for a few months. But eventually, like, he's told me things that, like, stuff I'm experiencing now in my life, he told me 2 years ago, and he was like, do it now. And I'm like, I can't, I'm human, I have my timeline. And the stuff I'm experiencing just now in my life is stuff he already told me 2 years ago. And he just looked at me blank, like, why are we still discussing this? Like, because I'm human and I'm trying to process things, they often forget that they don't have that experience. So I'm really curious to hear your comments or your questions about FAQs on Belial, summoning him. But that's what I feel that people need to remember when they summon him. Very serious. He deals with two things: power. Financial power is one thing, but I'm talking power, command, presence. Command and presence is more Belial's thing. Like, he's very, this is me, fuck off if you don't like it. You know, he is himself. And he deals a lot with self-worth. Like, Belial will just be like, nope, 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 nope. It's too low for me. No, it's too low. No, 100,000 for one hour is too low. He'll just be like, go high, because that's who you are truly worth. And Belial, one thing I feel like Belial will really want me to say in this video is I don't work with those who don't know their worth, and nor do I care to. That's the thing. You already need to know a lot of who you are, or you need to have a lot of command and presence to work with him. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I feel like I will be covering a series of videos on different spirits, how to evoke them, what they are, what they like, and if you guys have any questions, you can drop it in the chat box below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon, probably with another video on how to evoke another spirit. All right, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.